Alright, so my next question. Dave and Sandy Hart are frequent flyers with Delta Airlines. They often fly from Philadelphia to Chicago, a distance of 780 miles. On one particular trip, they fly into the wind and the flight takes 2 hours. The return trip with the wind behind them only takes 1.5 hours. The wind speed is the same on each trip. Find the speed of the wind and find the speed of the plane in still air. Okay, so the two things I'm trying to find are the speed of the wind and the speed of the plane. I represent that with X and Y. I've made my variable assignments here. X will be the speed of the plane, Y will be the wind speed. Okay, so now I need to search for my two equations, and my two equations here will deal with the formula distance equals rate times time. Okay, so let me point out the important pieces. The distance is 780 miles. I have two times. I have a 2 hours and a 1.5 hours, which I will represent with a 1.5. Same as 1.5, but it'll be a little easier to work with. And now using this, I need to set up my two equations. Well, my first equation, I know the distance, it's 780 miles. That's not going to change between the two cities. And now my rate. What would my rate be? Well, if the wind is helping me, that means I would be going faster. So what I would be doing is my rate would be the speed that the plane goes, X, increased by the speed the wind goes, Y. So that would actually be my rate if the wind is helping me. And if the wind is helping me, I'll go faster. I'll get to where I'm going a little bit quicker. So between the 2 hours and the 1.5 hours, this one would have to be the 1.5 hour time. So there's my first equation. My second equation is going to be similar. The distance is going to stay the same, 780. The rate, this time we're going into the wind, so the wind speed's actually going to be subtracted from the plane speed. It's going to slow us down a little bit. And since it's slowing us down, it's going to take us a little bit longer, which is the 2 hours in this case. So take a second now and make sure you understand these two equations. We've taken this word problem, we've set up our system of two equations. The first one is the one where the wind's helping us. It only takes us 1.5 hours because we're going faster. And the second one is where the wind's hurting us. It takes us 2 hours to go the 780 miles. It takes us a little bit longer. Okay, so now I'm going to solve this equation. There's a couple routes I could take, but I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I can divide this side of the equation and this side of the equation by that 1.5, and divide this side of this equation and this side both by 2. Doing so, 780 divided by 1.5 is 520. 1.5 here and the 1.5 here will reduce to 1/1, leaving me just X plus Y. 780 over 2 is 390. Similarly here, the 2 over 2 will reduce to 1/1, and I'll just get X minus Y. Looking at my two new equations, I notice they set up for the addition method and that Y will immediately eliminate. So let's go ahead and add these two. 520 plus 390 is 910. X plus X is 2X. Positive Y plus negative Y eliminates. Dividing both sides by 2, 910 divided by 2 is 455. So my x is 455. If I look back to what x was, that was the plane speed in still air. Alright, so I know x. I need to find y. I can go back to any of my equations. I have 4. I have my 2 new ones and my 2 original. I'm going to go back to my easiest one, which looks to be this one. And I'm going to rewrite that down. 520 equals x plus y. I know that x is 455, so 520 equals 455 plus y. Subtract 455 from both sides. 520 minus 455 is 65 for y. So we have 455 for x, so our plane speed is 455, and y is 65, so our wind speed is 65. If I look back at my units, it was miles and hours, so this 455 is miles per hour, that the plane speed, and the 65 miles per hour is the wind speed. Hope this helps.